Anyway, let's hear from the wins for the week. Max, you have any wins you want to share with us?
Yeah, the win is because since I start working with the Australia Lisa team, and then I spend a lot of, I think it's almost 10 hours a day to do all the job, do all the work. And the win, and now I'm start thinking like, how can I accelerate my working progress, like working process, make it faster. So I successful to narrow down from 10 hours to about 6 hours. I think that's the good news. So which being said, my another customer, I still have another time, extra time to do more things, and yeah, maybe just get more to increase my price, to upsell my service. I think that's the good news. I think it's my win.
So 10 hours is every day.
10 hour, yeah, almost. I can say I work. When I open my eye, I just work.
Okay.
So what did you do to be able to shift from 10 to 6? That's like 40% reduction. I think everybody wants to know what's the magic.
Well, I think it's not magic. You just try to use how can I say the working formula. I have my own formula to work because 10 hours I just random random things. And sometimes I pop out a new idea and then I chase this idea and leave it alone, and then I never finish anything. So it takes a long, very long time. So right now I just block my time, get away from all the distraction, and just fully focus with my formula is 50 minutes working, 10 minutes rest, to relax my eye, to walk around. So yeah, I think this is quite very useful, and it benefits my health too. Yeah, 15 minutes work, 10 minutes rest.
You're implementing two things. One is you don't do things, you block out time for activities instead of I do this a bit, I do this a bit. Okay. You structure your activities. The second is you're sort of using the Pomodoro technique where you do work for 25 minutes, 5-minute break, 20 minutes work, 5-minute break. So these two things.
Yep.
Okay, that's actually very interesting.
Yeah, so basically you are using the time block approach, but also the laser focus approach. So that's good. And you're also doing the 4M approach, I can see. Motion, mindset, and movement. And I hope you drink water and maybe take a snack within the 5 minutes as well. Because 4, yeah. Right mindset, movement, and yeah, meal, definitely. That's so those 4 M's are important. Yeah.
I see. This is the first time I actually heard about the four M's.
Yeah.
So Max, back then, I think in 2018, I was doing something like what you're doing, because that's like we have a 3-person team. So there's the business owner. I'm like his virtual assistant, tech assistant, everything. So I have to do everything. So, and I have to go and learn what I don't know how to do. So that time, I think 12 to 16 hours, that was my time in 2018. That was my first experience there, because back then I wasn't used to being paid so much. So I thought I have to work a lot. Okay, but it's actually being effective. It's actually being effective. It's not about working a lot. So this is our mindset limitation we have. Because we think we're not worth a lot of money, we have to work double. Instead of 8 hours a day, we go and work 16 hours a day.
Yep.
And something I think Max has mentioned that I would like us to, those here and those who will be watching the video, it's not so much about the length of time. It's the value you put in the time, okay? So the limitation, the traditional thinking is that we have to work long hours. It's okay kind of when in the beginning, but once you know exactly what you're supposed to do, then it's the value you put in the time. So you can decide to work 30 minutes, 100% when the phone is off, all work for 1 hour, while 5 minutes you're checking WhatsApp, and then 2 minutes you're on Facebook, and then you're typing something a little bit, and then you are stretching. So you are doing different things without focus. So the time is longer, but you actually achieve less. And one of the things that marks maybe at the psychological level that's happening is when you set your brain time, the brain knows that the work has to be completed, because the brain has capacity to complete work depending on the time you set it. So if you say this letter must be written within 30 minutes, you will write that letter in 30 minutes. But if you say, I'll write this letter today, that means that the letter has to be written. So work expands according to the time that's available. So that's very, very important. So work expands or contracts according to the time you give that work. So one of the things I would like you to do is set the work and set the time. That this letter or this whatever it is should be done within 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, so that your brain gets that power to complete your resources. Kind of the brain gets all your resources and focuses them to complete the work. It's like when you see a lion, right? Where does the energy come from? From relaxing, you're running at a high speed. Where does that energy come from? So it's the same thing. So you just have to pinpoint it, and then it happens. That's a good trigger. Thank you for bringing that, Max. Okay, over to you, Jay.
So okay, if there are no other questions, we can spend today talking about time management, task management, all of this. But let's just go around and collect the wins from everybody. Just a reminder, last week we have this suggestion that you want to go and read this book. Okay, so this is a reminder for those who haven't bought it. If you bought it, the book already arrived, just let us know. All right, so we can keep you accountable.
Yes.
Vincent, what new wins you want to share with us?
For my side, but before I forget, I think you are aware that I already read the book, so I'm going to go to another book, I think.
Vincent, there's a lot of wind. I think it's like wind or something, your side. Do you have a fan on?
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Much better, yes.
Okay, because I want to share about my win. So there are win behind the scenes. No, okay, it's okay. Nobody gets it or something. But okay, but I think I just want to repeat myself just now. I think Jay is aware that I have read books surrounded by idiots. So I'm going to do another book when I'm traveling.
Okay.
So for the wins of the day, with wins of the week, I think the first thing is I've got my first, not order, but I got my first payment as a copywriter from working together with Boss. So I think it is not a lot of money, but I think it's a huge, it's a good move, it's a good starting to gain some traction. So this is one of the bigger wins that I want to share today. And the other one is I think last week or last 2 weeks, I mentioned that I had a problem charging customers because I don't know what price to charge. So I have worked out a very simple price list, and from there I think it is easier for me to talk to customer, prospect next time, for me to share some of the offers that I could share with them. Let's say if they come for an inquiry.
Okay, so that's interesting win. So okay, actually this is a bit, I'll sidetrack a little and talk about what happened. I forgot, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Today's Saturday, so it actually happened yesterday. So one of our clients, me and Gerald's clients, is selling refurbished computer. Okay, so yesterday I showed him how he sound, and he was shocked. Oh my god, I sound so annoying. It's not what he says is annoying, it's the mic make him sound very annoying. I was like, oh my god, I barely can hear. Then I show him the tools I use for live audio enhancement. Then he was like, oh my God, actually, when you turn on this enhancement, it's actually able to hear. I said, yeah, I have to turn that on because I don't know what setting you did. It was so hard to listen. So sometimes this mic, sometimes not for us. Actually, mic is not for us. It's always for other people. So always you don't need to spend a lot. I mean, this, I think is what, $30, this mic, $30 US. I tested some headsets with some HP headsets. I think it's less than $20, $15. It's actually about $15 to $20. The mic was actually quite usable. Okay, so if you're using this, Vincent, I believe you are using the mic of the laptop, not the headphone, but I might be wrong. Okay, so this is where we need to learn how to set zoom to use our mic. It's a very, very big difference. So especially if you're using Bluetooth, then there will be some additional settings. So personally, I don't like to use wireless mic because if you forgot to charge the battery and it runs out of battery, you're going to have problems in the middle of the meeting. And imagine that's a closing call. Oh my God, that just cost you a few $1,000. All right, so I'm a bit more old school when it comes to this. Everything is wired. Like I have this.
This is why I have this.
Yeah. Okay.
Why I always wins, right?
Yeah.
So and a good mic, and this is my mic.
Blue Yeti.
Who recognizes this? Yeah. So you don't play. This is it's not about really you. It's about the client. So you want to speak with the client. You don't want it's the client should reduce your voice if you like. Rather than increase your voice. Because if the client is doing like this, leaning towards the computer to hear you have a problem, right? The light is more tolerable, but the ear is not. It's very annoying because we hear from deep brain, right? And so that's really, it triggers negative emotion in the psychology of the listener. So it's very, very important. You be very sure that you are able to communicate without the client's training. And that will cost a lot of money and friends too, like business colleagues. Yeah. Thank you.
And by the way, just to give you guys a tip, I tried many different mics. I specifically choose this mic. You have a mic that works for you. Now, why do I say that? Some mics, they make you sound deeper, the voice. Some make you sound clearer. So depending on what you're looking for. I personally prefer my voice to be a bit deeper because deeper voice is being perceived as, subconsciously, human will think deeper voice is more authoritative. So I choose that it's for my own style. Okay. So that is a tip I can give you. I generally like to avoid using the mic with the headphone. But that being said, if you're starting out, a USB mic with a USB headphone with mic actually works very well. I have a link on Lazada. I think the headphone is what, $15, $18. I'm actually surprised it sounds so good. And your mic through Zoom, actually the best mic on Zoom, because Zoom use some audio compression. So if you're using, let's say, $350 mic, maybe you won't get it. But Blue Yeti doesn't actually, I think it's like the max of what Zoom can support. Okay, so what I recommend is just rewatch our sessions and just listen how you sound. If you don't like what you hear, then do something about it. Okay, but so far I can say everybody's audio is okay. Max, your audio is actually fine. Last time we had some problems, you changed, then it's fine. And so Vincent, a bit of work. Maybe it's not the mic, it's probably the settings, because I know you're using a better headphone now. I'll be very surprised if the headphone mic is the problem. I think it's some setting. I can help you look at that later. All right, so just remind me if I forget. Okay, so before I dive into that, Bor, let's hear your wins for the week.
Right, so the first win would be firing the most annoying agency that I was working with, right? So yeah, that's no more. And then yeah, I mean, like Jay and Gerald help a lot, so I want to thank you both a lot, right? I mean, like trying to, like, because I was still figuring if I want to continue working for another few months just to get the experience, or if I should quit and focus on much more important clients, right? So at the end of the day, Jay and Gerald helped me to just pull the trigger and then when I deliver my last copy, I just tell him that I'm going to work until the date, and after that, no more, right? So gave him a 30-day notice, and yeah, nothing's really went, nothing, it's not, nothing is bad about it. So, I mean, the client is also surprisingly understanding to my situation. So, yeah, no conflict in the text message, right? So, and then, yeah, it went well for the client. And then the next win will be hiring an accountant, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, working with an accountant
Not
to start.
really you're not really hiring an accountant.
Yeah, not really hiring. Yeah, it's just like
Consulting
working
with.
with the accountant.
Yeah, consulting with an accountant. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
all right. Consulting with an accountant. Yeah, use the wrong word. So,
Yeah.
like just to keep my books like clear, starting to keep my books or accounts clear. So I mean, like, because I wasn't like filing any taxes before, so I have no personal income, and the business income right now is still not on the record yet, so it's like not healthy, right? So I want to start recording so that I have my credit score ready, right? So yeah, I mean, that's like a push from Jay, right? So Jay actually pushed me to like, oh, go start with your accounting, right? So yeah, it's a very helpful push because it makes me aware of like, what do I need to do, right? Because that's a lot to learn, like in accounting. There's a lot of nuances, a lot of like minor details, right? So yeah, that's
So
the win of.
I like your choice of words, pull the trigger.
Right,
I like
yeah.
your choice of words. All right.
Pull the
So
trigger.
jokes aside, I think you are not hiring an accountant, you are getting advice from an accountant to file your taxes. So hiring an accountant actually costs you, hiring an accountant costs you a lot. Hiring getting bookkeeping service, okay, that's what I'm buying now. I'm not even hiring an accountant, all right? So it's a bit of a different. Hiring an accountant, you are like paying somebody in-house, almost like in-house or outsourcing all your accountings and stuff like that. So it's a bit different. That being said, why I bring this up is because, okay, then actually on my notes, we have three things. One, I would like to talk about us wearing multiple hats. Actually, it ties in very nicely with the point Paul made. It's like copywriters, freelancers, there are two sides. There's doing the work and there's the business side. So we'll talk a bit about that. And then there's afraid of charging too much. Okay, so everybody should always be afraid to charge too much. Because now yesterday I attended a live training session from Victor Antonio. So he said during one of his latest closing call, he mentioned the price and the prospect was like, yeah, okay. Then he was like, damn, I think I'm charging too low. So we always should have, the price is always have to be, you must always think, yeah, I think this is a bit charging too much. Why? Because it pushes you to your comfort zone, and we only have 24 hours. You probably don't want more than 3 clients, maybe 5 if you're crazy, but yeah, most people recommended 3. So you always need to cycle out, like this 3, fire this, then get another 3, get another 1. So you need to be always asking for a higher rate. It's a constant thing. So when you feel like you're charging too much, just be assured you're doing the right thing. Go, Cheryl.
Yes, and I think the issue with charging is counterintuitive, right? If you don't charge much, the client will devalue you naturally because they associate low charge with poor quality. So when you charge correctly, it means it should be ordinarily higher. Interesting, right? So charge, just like Victor Antonio says, go for premium pricing. The client will be more interested, will focus through much more, and is very likely to achieve more results. Because when they do that, then they would say, okay, I've spent quite some bit of cash here, I better be serious, right? And when they are more serious, they produce results, and they will say, okay, Max, your method works. Bo, your method works. So Vincent, the advice you gave me worked. Why? Because they put their heart into it, right? So if it's cheap, they don't focus on it, you're very likely to get them not focused at all, and therefore they produce no result.
Yeah,
so
and in
premium
some cases,
pricing is important. Yeah,
you did the work, you wrote the thing, they don't even use your work in some cases.
yeah.
That is why you want to charge.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Like, but the relationship, like that's the client and that's the client relationship, right? So what if right now we're dealing with agency, and then it's like, oh, I deliver the work to the agency, right? I mean, they don't really, I mean, they want the cost to be as low as possible, right? So that's the concern they have, right? I mean, they want the margins, right? So and then like the thing that come up that concerns me the most is like, I think I bring this up the last week, but it's worth bringing back up because it's still lingering in my head sometimes, right? So it's like before you raise your prices, you want to make sure that you can deliver the value, right? So I mean, this is still like sometimes will haunt me, but yeah, I mean, I still move past the barrier, right? Just like following all of you advice. So yeah, but
For
sometimes
agency, I always imagine agency as a stopgap. Okay, it's perfect for agency is perfect for anybody who's like, okay, I just want to do this part-time. It's just my side hustle, and I don't see my side hustle replacing my full-time. I don't see myself go 100% into freelancing, into my own business. Then maybe working for agency is not too bad because you just need to focus on delivering the work. That being said, anybody who is like, you want to consider this your main business, then you want to change, I'll suggest to change the way you look at agency as just a stepping stone. So agency is the fastest way for you to focus on one thing, means delivering the work and get good at it. Okay, but agency, you're actually dealing with two party. Personally, I feel agency is a bit harder because you're dealing with two party. I like to deal with just one party. Agency, you're dealing with the client and you're dealing with the agency. So you sort of have two bosses. And sometimes these two bosses, their goals are not aligned. So it's hard enough to align your goal with the client. But when you have another party in the picture, it's even harder to have all the goals aligned. And sometimes it's a bit conflicting because the agency, depending on how good they are at closing, sometimes they don't know how to close high ticket. They will just promise a lot of deliverables. And that is not very good as a freelancer because you almost have an opposite, it's like a conflict of interest. They're trying to promise more work, more deliverables done, but you're trying to like, I want to make sure the work is done well. Quality, quantity usually is like pick one. So there will be some things to make the situation a bit more muddy. Coach Jared, what do you see about this? The agency.
Yeah, I think it's agency is good for beginning point. And I think we all want to kind of begin where we're comfortable. Because with agency, normally they say, okay, you write emails if you're a copywriter, or you deliver this amount of headlines, this amount of email body copy and landing pages, whatever the case is, or this a number of images if you're like a digital artist and things like that. So you get used to producing finer quality. However, the challenge with agency is that you have less voice, right? You cannot charge much because you would have negotiated upfront that for this kind of work, I would take a base of maybe 2,000 and a certain amount of commission or something if commission is there. Or usually it may be just a single structure. So it's good at the beginning. However, as you get your own clients, my personal suggestion would be for you to have a one-on-one relationship with clients, like what Max you have, Bo you have. I think Vincent at some point also had, where you are dealing directly with the client, and there you can actually close the client for more services. That way you can increase your offerings and charge more as you gain experience. So definitely agency is good, but as a beginning point, but be comfortable and then move on your own so that you're an independent professional. As a freelancer, you are a free professional. That means you sell your time, you sell your expertise, you sell your knowledge, right? So those three should increasingly earn you more as your experience goes. But agency, it is going to be flat, right? So that's where you have to weigh in properly, right? Jay, go for it.
So you guys know how much I like PowerPoint. So I'll just bring this up because it actually ties in very well to what we are discussing about. Okay, so I've just shared my screen. Are you guys able to see the screen?
Yeah, we are able to. Go ahead.
All right. So let's say in freelancing, I think there will be a few skills that we need to master. One is the main skill. One is closing. So just say for copywriting, main skill will be copywriting. It doesn't matter if you're writing emails, landing pages, or social media posts. I'll consider this as one. Then the next is the closing. Actually, I'll just say business skill. This is like oversimplification. Okay. Okay, I'll just put the third one. It's going to be mindset, or what we call the leadership.
Yeah.
Mindset. Some people call mindset, some people call this leadership. Okay, so Coach Gerald, what is leadership in simple terms as a freelancer?
Really, let me go over this a little bit just to give more context. Main skill is what you went for: digital marketing, copywriting, Facebook, something, whatever, all right? The business skill is what will help you communicate with the business owner. So that includes your pricing and the different deliverables, right? So that's transforming your
sales,
skill.
marketing,
Yes,
prospecting,
marketing,
closing.
Exactly. All that will be put business skills. Now, behind the business skill, in order to present yourself well, and in order to manage the relationship well with the client, you need leadership skills, right? And this often sometimes, actually it's both mindset and leadership. So because the mindset underlies the leadership. The leadership will be specific things, how you manage yourself and how you manage and other people. The mindset would be how you look at yourself versus other people. For instance, there are people who look at themselves as inferior to others. They look at themselves as not being enough. They look at themselves, I don't look good enough. My English is not good. My writing is not good. So there are two ways of doing it. So either you can generally underrate yourself or overrate yourself. Both are dangerous, okay? Because if you overrate yourself, then people see you as arrogant, they see you as self-serving and all that, right? But if you underrate yourself, nobody wants to do business with losers. So it's important for you to have the right mindset, the mindset that is going to make you successful, right? So that's about your self-image, that's about the way you portray yourself, that's where the way you perceive other people, all right? Then the leadership and management go together in how do you communicate with other people? How do you solve problems? How do you relate with other people? And then the management aspect would be, how do you manage time? How do you resolve conflict? How do you, those kind of things that will make you more efficient as a human being in delivering the main skill. Because Marx just talked about shrinking the time from 10 hours to 6 hours, 40% improvement. What that meant for me is that his mindset is improving, his leadership and management skills are improving. And when you get better with mindset leadership, actually your main skill becomes easier to operate and your business skills go up. Because some certain amount of magic works, and then there's complementarity. So 1 + 1 becomes 11, not 2. That's why it's important. We want you to have the main skill, we want you to have the business skills, and we want you to have the leadership and mindset skills.
And you guys will realize we almost don't talk about the main skill here, because this is frankly is the easiest to learn. You can just watch some YouTube videos, get started. You can go attend some course, how to do this, how to do that. The problem with business skill and mindset, you don't know who is a good teacher. This is the hard thing. All right. Now, how do you know if your mindset and leadership needs work? If you always doubt yourself, if you always have a lot of fear, this is a good, like, okay. If you always think of limitations, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm charging too much. Here. Okay. So out of these three, personally, I think this is the most important. However, most business owners and freelancers, this is like, the main skill is here, it's so big. The leadership, the mindset, here. But we don't see the need to improve this. I like a lot of people, myself included, we're like, yeah, why do I waste time to learn mindset? Why do I waste time to learn leadership? It doesn't help me to do my thing. Okay, this is like one of the biggest shift I have personally. All right, so here now we're going to talk about another thing, which is all of us need to wear different hats. And when you are starting out, you're going to wear all the hats. When you reach a certain stage, that's where you can pay somebody else. You outsource this hat, so you just take the hat and let other people wear for you. So what I did this week, I'm taking off the accounting hat and I just like, hey, other accountant, yeah, you do it for me. This you're going to pay you so much. So the next thing, it's also like legal advice. I'm aware of a bit. Okay, that being said, for me to spend time to learn about legal and accounting is too expensive, because I can spend the time to do this or this. So if as anything you want to outsource, except for closing, I don't think you can outsource, frankly.
Yeah.
Marketing, you can actually outsource. Okay. Interpersonal communication, sorry, you can't outsource that as well. So closing and communicating with others one-on-one, this you really can't outsource. Okay. So these are the things we need to know where to wear the hat and when to take it off. So when you're starting out, you do not need to be afraid about, from a company, register bank account, all the legal stuff, this agreement, that agreement. When you're starting out, those are not as important. That being said, I highly recommend everybody to register your own company, file your taxes. Okay, that is like once a year. Registering a company, you do it once. Open your company bank account, you do it once. Start your company PayPal account, you do it once, and that's it, full stop. These are things you don't need to actively think of. Now, where you're earning some money, then start paying others for this. Okay, so this is the advice I can give for here, but these are the things we want to always work on. These are the things we want to always work on. All right, so this is where I think we're here to bring the awareness, like don't just put 100% on your focus here. Personally, I feel this is the one which you can get away not having so much, because you can always close the deal and learn how to do the work.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I need to be so good at email writing, then only I can get paid a high amount. No, this has to be there to allow you to have the confidence to go and close for a big deal. And actually just now I thought of something. The amount of work you do, sometimes when you charge high, the amount of work you need to do actually reduce. Is it counterintuitive? You'll be thinking, if I charge more, supposedly I have to do more work. Not really. You see, the people who are, okay, let's just take a doctor, surgeon, operation. One operation costs five figures, 6 figures. Are you going to ask the person who is going to charge you 5-6 figures to do extra things? You'll be a bit hesitant, right? Like, oh my God, I can ask him to wash my toilet. I'm not sure how much that's going to cost me. But if you undercharge, they'll be like, this person, the rate is so cheap, might as well ask him to do some other things. So that is what will happen in the mind of your customer. You don't want that to happen to you, right? So actually undercharging, it really, really hurts you.
Yeah. And the reason, and I think you brought an important point. So if you strengthen your business skills, that's your interpersonal communication. So actually it is both intrapersonal and interpersonal communication. Intrapersonal and interpersonal, and your concept, because you cannot outdo your self-image, which means if you think of yourself as being a beginner, as low quality copywriter, low quality digital marketer, there is no way you are going to have the confidence to ask for fair rewards. You won't. That's why it's important you spend time. And this is what part of the reason why we are here is to create awareness for you so that we begin to shift your time within these two dimensions, because you can read your copywriting, digital marketing at night, even weekends. However, apart from doing the work, you should actually improve yourself. This too is where we call personal development, right? Personal development is actually not on your original skill. That's like a given, right? You're a photographer, but personal development is how to communicate better, how to do all these other things. So it's very important. Like, don't neglect your old skill, but learn the skills that will give more value to your skill. And this is your self-image, how you look at yourself vis-a-vis the other people, how you look at yourself vis-a-vis maybe your race, your religion, your color, you know, all those variables in life we put ourselves. Some people just say, I'm not good because I am like this. I am not good enough because I am like this. I come from this part of the world, this kind of part of the country, my accent is not good, but it's all here. Nobody cares about your accent, but you're very conscious about your accent. Nobody cares about your looks, but you're very conscious. So you focus on looks more than the value. And all this is about the mindset, is about your self-image. So it's very important that actually you get out of the prison of the mind, because what happens is we set ourselves so many limitations that we actually remove our possibilities. And this happens with everybody. So one of the number one expectations that we should do for ourselves is continuously eliminate those self-limiting beliefs that we set ourselves. And this goes for everybody, right? And it is, other people are worse off, but all of us are not 100%. Nobody is 100%, right? So this is very important.
And these two things, frankly, you can't really learn this from school, or I don't think you can learn it from books. Okay, so I can't speak as a person who took marketing or accounting in college. I think, yeah, actually, Vincent, let me put you on the spot since you studied this in university. Can you share with us what did you study and how much of this is actually applicable?
I always say school is the place for you to learn to survive in the corporates, because in school we are taught to learn about, we are taught to do presentation, doing research, writings, little bits, we learn about some theories. As a corporate person coming from university, I would say I cannot rule out the whole possibility of applying what you learn in school in your work life, including presentation. That's because that's what I use some of the theories and I apply it as well. I know many people, they just throw it away, but I think it is sometimes, I mean, towards when you reach a certain level, you need a little bit of theories to back whatever that you are saying. So that is what I believe in. And this is also part of the personal development. I would say it is very much depending on individual. So in general, whatever you learn in school, you apply 10-15% of them.
Not so much.
To work. Yeah,
You're right.
I believe it. I believe it is that much, because you don't do presentations when you are probably in your high school or primary school. You don't do that much assignments. You don't do that much research. And all these things, I think it weighs 15% from the university to the real life.
Okay.
So it is
I'll
about
just ask,
learning to learn.
the accounting and the marketing knowledge that you learn from university, how much is it applicable to the copywriting career you're using now?
Oh, unfortunately, accounting zero, almost zero. Okay, I cannot put zero. Maybe I put 1%.
1%. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't want to put zero.
Maybe you can
couldn't-
even be generous, 10%.
No. I'm still struggling with the accounting, so it's okay. At least I'm giving 1% because I still use the terminology cash flow, debit, credits, debt to equity ratio, whatever. But no, 1%. Marketing, I would say a little bit more, maybe 20%.
Mm.
Legal, zero. Sorry.
All right, so these are the things that we learn on the job, we learn in the business ourselves. The hard part is, let's say you have no exposure to all of this, it's quite hard to know like who should I learn from. So one way is you can see like where the person you're learning from, are they doing the things that they are going to teach you. So that's a tip I can give. All right. All the communication, I think, yes, we learn in college or whatever, but it's so, I think I apply negative percent. It doesn't really work for me. But when I read books like this, then it's like, oh my God, you can apply 80, 70%, 80%, maybe 100% of it. Yeah, so it's very different. So the main message for today is all of us need to be able to wear multiple hats and know when to take them off, because if let's say you're a freelance graphic designer, you can't just run your whole business or freelancing career just knowing how to design stuff. You need to know the business aspect. How does your work affect your customer from a business point of view? You need to know how to have business conversations. You need to know how to market yourself. You need to know how to close. And for you to go and do all of those things that you never know how to do before, do all the practice, actually network with people in this area, all those on the leadership side. Right? So this is a message that we would like to have. We almost don't talk about the how to do the stuff here. Okay, because everybody's situation is different. If we talk about how to write better emails, it will only apply to one person. If we talk about how to run better ads, maybe don't apply to anybody. Yeah. But if we talk about the prospecting, the business side, I think everybody will benefit a lot. And you will probably disagree with this, but just from my personal journey, the thing that helped me the most is not the how to do the work skill, it's the business skill and it's the mindset leadership. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share.
Oh, that's good. So one of the things, and I think that's a good point to segue, one of the assignments, if you may call assignments, to use Bo's figurative example, is let us do an audit of our business skills and our leadership mindset skills, where we are, between 1 to 10, score all those skills. So you know for the rest of the few months where you will be. You can take a screenshot, some of the things. This is not exhaustive list, but yeah. So, but it's just to kind of give you an idea of what you should be focusing on.
I'm not sure if I should give you the list that I use, because that is for a full-blown business.
No, I would suggest because they're at different levels.
Yeah,
we have given them, like, they can Google this and cherry pick what makes sense for them.
How about this? We make it.
Yes.
We make it main skill, business skill, mindset, leadership 3. You score yourself. Okay. How many out of 10? How many out of 10? How many out of 10? Then just share with us next week.
Yeah. So that, because the idea here is to begin to have learning points. And this will also help us, once we know that, this will help us to structure the talks. So we are able to really give you more value so that as you learn independently, like Vincent is focusing on copywriting, Bo is on email, right? Max is, all of you are on different journeys. So definitely spend some time focusing on your main thing, what we call sharpening the saw, right? You keep sharpening the saw, that goes without saying. However, sharpen yourself to become better business person and to become a better person. So there are three of you, actually. There's the skill you, copywriter, digital marketer, design, photographer, whatever. That is you. That's your generic skill, your main skill. Then there's this business skill part of you. This is how to be an effective business person, because you need to understand business in order to help a business person, right? Because Bo right now is working with a coach. So it's important that he understands the world of coaching a little bit in order to write the right emails, in order to see this lady's problems. That's why we need the business skills coming in. And then you need this personal, the mindset, the way you see yourself, the way you conduct yourself, the way you relate with other people. So when you put these three skills together, then you become this super consultant, right? You are doing the job and you're consulting the job, and you can see the weak points of the business owner. That way you quickly gain in value. Your leadership mindset is high, your generic skill is good, and your skill of business is good. So you can actually say, wait a minute, you say you want email marketing versus maybe something else, right? Another lead gen situation. You say, have you thought about that? What do you think the business owner is going to say? He would say something, I think, Max, you're right. Instead of email marketing, maybe we should do this, as you've suggested. So your value will go up and they will be more willing to pay you more money, and even sometimes invite you for JV opportunities. So these are very, very important. So we would like your journey to be pretty interesting.
Okay, so this it's just on the top of my head. Okay, so I might miss some things, or I might maybe make it twice, just to let you guys know what's the next step. Now, everybody here is doing the work. Okay, actually paid one-to-many, paid to consult. Yeah, I think this still works. So if you're being paid to do the email, to write the email, you're paid to do the work. This is first. Now, your goal ideally shouldn't be, oh, I want to be paid to write emails forever. Okay, because the worst number in business is 1. You just paid for this. Now, email happened to be a bit more safe because email withstood the test of time. It's not like I'm going to be a Facebook specialist. Facebook might go away 2-3 years later. We don't know. Email, less chance, but let's not put all our eggs in one basket. In fact, since Facebook changed the name to Metaverse, they lost 500 billion. I read the headline. I didn't read the article, so I don't know anything about it. This is the first level. Second level, this is what I'm currently doing. And I'll tell you, I much prefer to do this because of the experience I have involved doing the work. Sometimes they'll just ask me questions. Now, I started a more like tech background. So until today, I still get questions like, hey, what is this tool? What tool are they using? Can you reverse engineer this for me? Can you tell me how they do this? What are the tools needed? So I'll just like, okay, I just give a quick answer. So that is consultation. It can also be, I'll just put coach and consulting the same. So some of the packages, it can be when they need your help, they ask you, you charge per hour. But frankly, I don't like to do that. I like to schedule consistent meetings, like 1 hour a week. Then we get paid on a monthly basis or quarterly basis. So currently, me and Gerald, we are doing this. I'm still doing this a bit. Don't get me wrong. I'm still doing this a bit, but I much prefer to do this. Your value of your time doing this is much higher. Now, once you are able to do, let's say you take Bo as an example, you know how to write the email, but your customer don't know how to use your email very well. They have an idea how to use it, but I'm sure if you look at how they use it, you will be able to give them a lot of suggestions like, hey, you are not really using it well, you should do this, your account, you should do this. So all of those actually very useful information that will help them increase their profits, will impact their business. So you should be doing consultation. So this is the next step. The next step is, I think, something that Max is sort of doing. He's doing like an agency, managing people one-to-many. So here is actually more like either it's an agency or some
is
of
outsourcing. It's like Max is now going to that, where because of your good name, maybe you say mini agency, just to be more correct. So because your contacts trust you, you begin to serve on their behalf. You say, okay, and the agency owners will say, by the way, we need somebody to write emails for 1 month to fit in one position. The email guy is sick, is going to wait or whatever, right? So you will be contracted, quote unquote, to help out. So in this case, you can ask your friends to do the work, right? So this is like level 3, right? Which is good place to be. And for you, you get goodwill and you get additional payment, right? Because people do the work and they give you appreciation, definitely.
Actually, Max and both of you skip step 2.
Yeah.
You're now referring work to other people, but you actually skip this step. Now, what's the problem when you skip this step? You are managing people for free. Or you're not being paid to manage people. Okay, yeah. So that's the problem. But it's okay. You just come back and just learn how to do this well. Okay. Then at a certain stage, you just be paid to get involved. They're being paid for your name. Okay. We are not there yet.
Yeah, okay. But right now we are partly doing some involvement. Maybe one of our clients,
we are starting to venture into this, but not.
Yeah,
not
this is
yet.
where this. Yeah, in level 4, this is where you do JV. So you can agree you'll come in like 5 hours a week, okay, to do ABCD, to look at the marketing, to look at the copywriting, to look at the coaching, whatever skill you bring. So they will say, for instance, if we do this, you'll get 5% or 1% of the profits, right? Depending on what agreement. So you don't work for cash upfront, but you will get payment or equity, which is like the value of the company at an agreed time, right? And number 3, 4, 5 kind of come when you have more name in the field, right? So all of you, I would like that you have this kind of eye, like as a career progression, right? So that you have something to look towards.
Okay. At the very least, if you can do 1 and 2, you have a very good life. Screw if you don't like to deal with people or whatever, 3, 4, 5 is sort of optional. But everybody should learn how to do this well. To do this well, not only you need to have your core skill, your business and leadership skill has to be there. Okay, so this I hope give you an idea like, hey, I'm not just here to think how to be a freelancer, earn extra $500 or $5,000 on the side. This is actually like a progression, and personally, this is what we are doing. Okay, this is what we are doing. We get paid for this. We get paid for this. Of course, we get paid for this. Okay, so here, once we crack the code here, we'll be inviting more people to join on board. All right,
we're still learning. So
yeah, we're still learning
a learning thing. Yeah. Because nobody's born with these skills, right? Is there a baby who is a copywriter or a digital marketer? No. So we learn all this, and this is why it's important. One of the mindsets as a freelancer we would like you to adopt is Kaizen, continuous learning and continuous improvement, right? Whatever profession calling you are, just keep doing it. So that way you're able actually to grow.
Okay, I want to point out something. Do you realize in here, at any stage did I mention, you need to invest a lot of money, buy a lot of stock, buy a lot of inventory to sell? Zero. It's all your time, it's all your skill. This is why we like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Until here, until number 5, I don't think there's anywhere that is like, oh, we need to go and buy anything or whatever. You just spend all your time and money on your developing your own skill. That's all. And this is why I like.
And the good news, yes, and the good news right now, as post-corona, the world is going firmly into the gig economy, which means people are not going to be paid because they are nurses, engineers, but it's because of what they do, right? It's because of what you do. It's not your title. So titles are actually disappearing in many sectors, except maybe healthcare, construction, and stuff like that, that are very physical, right? Because if you are not a doctor, you'll freak out when a patient comes and is sick, right? But for most of the sectors, it is gig economy, which means you go by your skill. And that's why we are putting you guys up for success. So you master the 3 areas where we would like you to master. Be good with your parent skill, be good with business skills, and be good with your leadership skills. And the sky is the limit. You would definitely swim in 6-figure range because you are based in China, but you can work for companies in the US. Can doctors do that? No. Can engineers do that? You're based in Hong Kong, you can work for somebody in North America. So you can receive payment through China, through the US, through UK. You can have 5 clients. Just imagine what this is able to do for you. It's huge. Right. So that's why we like to empower you guys.
You can go wherever the world, you will still be able to do the 5 things. You just need I think you need a laptop. Yeah. If you want to be really strict, you can just get away with a phone, but I like a laptop. That not saying you can run the whole business with your phone. I'll prefer to use a computer, all right? But that's just me. But you know what? You don't need a lot of stuff. So all your money which you make from here, besides like personal expenses, I highly recommend you guys to go and learn on the 3 areas. Okay, don't learn everything on your main skill. You need to learn some business skills. You need to learn your leadership. 3 areas. Okay, don't hardcore spend. Oh, I want to learn everything about how to build a website. That's my mistake last time. I spent all my money learning the how to do. Yeah. Mistake. Yeah.
So because time comes when actually some of the to-do skill is gone. It's like it's not as useful. Like you grow so much that you cannot now be building websites for people, right? Because on Fiverr, websites are now built $200. It's nothing. And yet you could have spent like 5,000 learning that one skill, right? So it's important you don't spend all your money learning the skill. But as we have emphasized at this point, because we see many freelancers make the mistake of putting all the eggs in one basket.
And I have a good news for everybody. The main skill is not really transferable, but your business skill and mindset, I don't care if you're doing website design, you are writing emails, I don't care if you are creating videos for people, editing videos, all of this can be transferred when you switch the thing you do. Fully transferable, 100%. It's not even 99%. It's 100% you 100%. Can transfer. Yeah. So personally, if I were to start all over again, I'm going to learn all of this. But too bad nobody will tell you this. Yeah. Nobody will tell you this. Everybody will just focus on this. Why? Because it's easier to sell. Okay. Yeah. So we thought we bring this awareness to everybody. So it is, time flies. Our session, yeah. It's already 10. So we'd like to thank everybody for coming. So far we are very happy to see everybody's progress. Right? Everybody's making progress. We are very happy with that. And some of you actually too busy now. You can help other people in the community as well. So we are very happy with that. Any final words before we end the session, Gerald?
Yeah, my final word is just skill evaluation. Evaluate yourself on those 3. And next week we come and tell us the areas of improvement, areas of strength, so we can program these sessions to benefit you. That's one. Also invite another friend to join us as well. Yeah, so those would be my 2.
Okay, I guess that will be the for tonight. We'll see you guys next week.
Bo has a question. Oh, two.
Yeah.
There are two questions.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I just because like I was thinking about inviting my friend, but like he's a photographer, so I'm not sure. And then he's just starting out, right?
No
So I'm
problem.
not sure
He's
if he's
welcome.
really suitable for this.
Does
I
he
mean,
need
like,
more prospects?
That's the problem because he doesn't even have any prospect yet, right? Because he's still figuring out his main skill, right? So I'm just asking you, both of you, to
Oh, he
see
can come over and
if
ask us
it's
questions.
actually suitable.
He could ask, maybe the discussions can trigger something. He may like what Max is doing and gravitate towards Max's job, right? Or gravitate what Vincent is doing and gravitate towards Vincent. So it's okay because you lead him to light instead of like leaving him in the darkness. Just lead him to the light. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would like highlight because like in the future, I believe he needs like this kind of skill, right? Like dealing with people and prospecting and then closing, right? Because he's a photographer, he needs to close like clients. So,
Sure.
but the thing that I was concerned about is like he's still like trying to figure this out, and then he just bought a camera, which is expensive, but he's committed to that, right? He's committed, but he's not there yet in terms of skill. But yeah, I mean, prospecting is also one of the skills he needs. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's
Probably the first
actually
thing he needs.
suitable. Sorry?
Be the first thing he needs.
Oh, okay. Right. So yeah, I
can
mean,
see new people, amateur people, they always spend all the money on buying the stock, buying the equipment before learning the skill. I make that mistake
like,
myself.
really.
Yeah, we've all
equipment,
been
yeah.
there. That's a normal mistake. So it's to help your friend to avoid more mistakes. Then from there, he could go and buy a DSLR, right? Which is even more expensive. So he'll finish off his money more. So you help him by inviting him to come in. Maybe some idea will spike off his mind. Okay. So feel free to invite him.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, right. I will like just ask him, but yeah, I mean, he probably won't switch to like copywriting or digital marketing, but yeah, I mean, because like he's so heavily invested in this, but
don't worry. It's just to bring him here. You can actually be a 6-figure photographer, but you have to do it in a certain way. You have to learn the leadership. You have to have the right mindset. You have to learn the business skill. So how can I use my technical skill, photography, to create 6-figure income? There are various ways. Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, glad it was
okay.
it will be helpful for him. Yeah, I will just tell him about this.
Okay, good.
So, okay, let's wrap up the session. Then we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.